Well, speaking of work, can you tell me a little bit more about the agency? It contains only women?
It's all women. And it's funny, I used to think that my clients in the media would think I was weak if I had children. That if I was leaving early or if there was something I had to do, that it was almost a weakness. And obviously I thought that for about 12 years. And what I found is that it's actually been better for business. My clients can identify with me more. We have more to talk about, and of course we've ended up doing so much work in the mom category, which really just about the time that I had kids, it kind of became cool to have kids. So it's been really terrific.
And you were recognized by Crain's for...
Recognized by Crain's for being the #2 best company in New York to work for and the #1 best small company.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I've worked for a few agencies before I started, and I really picked up what not to do and what to do, and you really do learn that encouraging people just gets you so much further. I always thought I was going to work for somebody. I was in the elevator of my building at home, and there was this very good-looking man, and he was talking to somebody else in the elevator about launching a new fragrance. And I was working for a PR agency, and I said, "Oh, do you know who I am? Do you know my clients?" And he looked at me and he said, "I have no idea who you are, but why don't you give me your card?" And about a month later, he called and he said, "You know what? I realized my PR person hasn't even called me back this week. Would you like to take a meeting?" And I said, "You know what? Sure." And instead of bringing him to my small agency, which I think I was outgoing a little bit at the time, I met him at the Four Seasons. And after 2 hours, he said, "If you want to start your own business, I'll be your first client."
Wow.
And luckily, it was the relaunch of Burberry fragrance. So I've never really had to look elsewhere. And those were different days. I had a clothing allowance, and I had a driver and an office and an assistant all paid for. So I was lucky that I think I started at a good time.
So what advice do you have for other aspiring entrepreneurs?
I think that people need to do research. I think that we meet millions of people, dozens and dozens of people a year, and everybody thinks that they have a great idea. What I find is that people don't do enough research about what their competitive set is. So somebody will come in and they will say, "I am launching this fragrance or this website," and they haven't even researched that there are 10 things just like that. Everybody needs a point of difference, and I definitely feel that that's the one thing. Find your point of difference, find your niche, do the research, and then get the word out there.
So for all the women who do all of that, they do the research and they find their niche, and maybe they don't have the funds to come to a PR agency like yourself. Do you have any sort of grassroots efforts that you can advise them to?
Sure, I think women who don't have the money for PR when they first start, the first thing that they can do is really go through all the publications and the media outlets that would make sense, that would help your brand. Research what they do. If it's Glamour magazine, read Glamour magazine. See what writer specifically may cover something. Read the past 6 issues if you could get your hands on them, and then approach them in an intelligent way with your idea. And I think a lot of the writers appreciate that, and sometimes they even like the founder of a company coming to them directly instead of having a PR person. Sometimes they feel that they have more of a direct relationship that way, and they want to support a new business.